Shukla. On behalf of AKtU, I would like to welcome all my delegates, my seniors, respected um, in charge UIIC, my nodal officer, and all delegates, along with my keynote speaker. See, as we all know that we are today gathered here um to organize a session on resume writing, which is a very important part of any job. Without resume, a proper resume, we cannot enter in. And I would like to invite my nodal officer, Dr. Ayush Srivastava, to lead on this. Sir, please.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। मैं आज इंजीनियर्स डे के अवसर पर विश्वविद्यालय द्वारा सभी विद्यार्थियों को कैसे अपना रिज्यूम बनाएं और कैसे एक रिज्यूमे होना चाहिए, उसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें होनी चाहिए, इसके लिए सुश्री रविता जी को हम लोगों ने इनवाइट किया है। वो हमें बताएंगी। हमारे साथ हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी इंडस्ट्री इंटरफेस सेल के इंचार्ज डॉक्टर RK सिंह सर, हमारे साथ डीन DSW श्री डॉक्टर OP सिंह सर, हमारे सेंटर फॉर एडवांस स्टडीज के असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अनुज शर्मा सर, सभी लोग उपस्थित हैं। मैं डॉक्टर RK सिंह सर से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो हमारे जो की नोट स्पीकर हैं उनका स्वागत करें और उनसे और सभी जो बच्चे हमारे आज इंजीनियर्स डे पे जुड़े हुए हैं उनको सभी को अपना आशीर्वचन प्रदान करें। सर आप ऑडिबल नहीं है सर, आपका
अब आ रहा है आवाज? मेरी आवाज आ रही?
हाँ, आ रही है।
नमस्कार। हाँ, नमस्कार। मैं आज इस ट्रेनिंग सेशन में जो है मैडम आई हुई हैं रविता मैम, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। डॉक्टर OP सिंह साहब जो हमारे डीन स्टूडेंट वेलफेयर हैं, उनका भी स्वागत है। और हमारे असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार आयुष, ट्रेनिंग एंड प्लेसमेंट की जो प्रभारी हमारे यहाँ के जो सब काम देख रही हैं, प्रतिभा जी, उनका भी स्वागत है। और जो बच्चे इसमें पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, जिनको आज बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट इशू पर ये सेशन विश्वविद्यालय द्वारा आयोजित किया जा रहा है। आमतौर पर आप कैसे अपने बायोडाटा को, अपने रिज्यूमो को प्रेजेंट करते हैं, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। उसकी जो बारीकियां हैं ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है। कई तरह की चीजें होती हैं। मेरे ख्याल से मैं भी इसमें मैडम का जो मार्गदर्शन होगा उससे लाभ लूंगा और सारे बच्चे भी लेंगे। और इसमें अब ज्यादा समय ना वेस्ट करते हुए इसको स्टार्ट करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, sir. And now I would take this session on. And as you know, that resume says a lot about you. It determines whether you will be called in for an interview or not. So, with this very important saying, I would like to welcome Miss Ravita Parwani ji, who has around 15 plus years of experience in leading IT projects to enhance the technical skills of students from 2018. Now, she has worked with many engineering colleges in Delhi, NCR, Karnataka, even in Telangana state also. She had worked as a trainer with NIIT and APTEC also. Madam, it is over to you, and I again welcome you on behalf of AKtU and my dear and loving students. Thank you so much. Please welcome. Now, session is over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you all the participants and the complete team of the AKtU University. So thanks from my side. So before continue the session, I just want to introduce myself. So could you please confirm, ma'am, that I'm audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. You please go ahead, ma'am. You are audible.
Sure. Thank you so much. Okay, so on behalf of all the team, like I just want to congratulate all the students, and I just want to wish you all a very happy engineering day. So it would be a great session, and I'm sure that I will try my best to support you and to guide you regarding the resume building session. So as we all know that resume building is the utmost important thing for fresher students as well as for the experienced people also. So sometimes it happens that due to the lack of the knowledge what should be in resume, what should be included in the cover letter. Most of the students are not aware about the skills, and that's why those students are not getting any chance for the interview. So I will share each and everything about the resume writing, and I'm sure that by the end of the session, you will be able to create a very impressive resume for sure. So I'm just sharing my screen with you all, and then we will proceed with the session. Yeah. So the session is based on resume building. Basically, it is the part of professional skills. So as Pratibha ma'am told that I belongs to Centum Learning Limited. So basically, our company is an upscaling of the students. So I am the project lead in CSR IT projects. So specifically Delhi, NCR, Karnataka, and Telangana region, we are handling multiple projects where our main objective, main motto is to upskill students, and after that we are providing them the placements as well. So continue with the session. So resume building, as you all aware about the term resume, it's a very common term. Whenever we are trying to start any of the placement activity, the first word which is always in our mind, that is called as resume. We should prepare resume properly. So what would happen if resume is not proper, it is not up to the mark, definitely you will not get the chance for being the shortlisting. So in today's session, basically, we will discuss about the resume, which is a document between you and employer. Okay. So if you want to place in a good IT company or in any organization, definitely this session will surely help you to understand the importance of a well-written resume. So resume is a reflection of you, and it should be created by you and not copied from others. As per my experience, I can see many times it happens that the students are just using the copy paste option. So don't do that. First point. So a resume becomes effective if certain points are followed. So definitely you want to express you in your resume. So you can say that on your resume, you are the person. So whatever the USPs are there, whatever the qualities are having you, so those all things you should mention in your resume. So in today's session, we will discuss some of the very important points related with the resume building. It will cover the introduction of resume. We will see what should be the structure of a resume, what specific formatting tips we have to follow while we are building our resume. Then we will understand some of the tips which will definitely maximize the chances of this screening process, where most of the organizations are using some automated tool to filter out the candidates on the basis of their resume. So what should be the resume tips? What points we must include in our resume? What is exactly is the cover letter? What are the do's and don'ts about the resume building process? Then we will see a very sample resume also that would be definitely helpful for fresher students. We will share some of the important links also if anyone is interested to create a resume as per the specific format, standard format. And that would be the agenda of today's session. So let's start with the topic, that is what exactly is the resume is. So the first thing, as I told you, that the first thing which you have to prepare very cautiously, that is your resume. Okay. Resume, it is a formal document that gives a recruiter detailed information about the candidate's complete information. So it will cover obviously your full name, what is your contact number, what is your mail ID, what is your correspondence address, what are your educational qualifications, what are your professional experiences, your projects, your skills, your technical or any internship if you have done during your academics. So it would be the place where you have to showcase each and everything in a very precise manner. So resume differentiate you from other candidates, right? So if your resume is very effective, definitely you will get a chance to be interviewed. Your resume will be shortlisted, and definitely you will get a chance for interview process. Sometimes it happens that students are saying that we have a very good technical knowledge, but still we are not getting any chance, we are not getting any interview call from organizations. So when we saw the resume of those students, we came to know that there are so many problems, so many issues are there in their resume. So even students are not know how many different type of resumes are there. So we will discuss all these things in today's session. So whatever the important things which you have to include in your resume and what should be the formatting, that all things we have to understand today. The very important thing is students are not aware about it, that your CV, your resume shortlisting will take only 7 minutes, 7 seconds. That means when employers are getting your resume, so they are just paying only 7 seconds. They are consuming only 7 seconds to shortlist your resume. So that means they will not see the complete details, whatever you have mentioned in your resume. Okay, so obviously it should be the objective, the headline which you have mentioned in your resume. So what are the important things which you have to highlight in your resume? Okay, so those all things we will cover in today's session. It is very important to understand because it is resume has the power to get you to an interview for your dream job. It, as I told you, that if your resume is not perfect, might be you can lose the chance of your dream job. So organizations use the resume to shortlist the potential candidates. So sometimes it happens also that students are not putting exactly the information they must include or insert in their resume. Okay, so if you are very passionate about starting your career in a very good company, so definitely you should pay attention towards the first step of the placements, that is your resume building. So there are multiple options available if you want to create any resume. So some students or some professional persons are using some of the templates also, but I will not suggest the templates for fresher students. Why? Because whenever we are using some templates, so there are some tables, there are some pictures, okay, there are some text boxes available, in some shapes are available in formats templates. So sometimes it happens that when students are using those templates, so the chances of shortlisting of that resume will be decreased. The reason behind that, because multiple organizations right now using specific automated tools which are based on AI and ML skills to shortlist the candidates. So they are not doing all these things manually. Okay, so they are using some of the software tools, and while we are using some templates, so might be there are chances that that software is not able to check the complete details which you are using in the tables or in text boxes. So as per me, I would prefer the Word application. You can start with the Word application to build your resume. So what should be the length of a resume, right? So CV, obviously CV must be related with a professional person or the experienced person. So resume length must be maximum 1 page or 2 page. So whatever I am telling you, if you are having a notebook with you, you can note it down also. You can take the screenshots of slides if it is important for you. So what I'm telling you, the resume length. Resume length must be 1 or 2 pages maximum. It is the preferred length of the resume for fresher candidates. What about the margins? When we are using Word application, so we have to align some of the margins on top, left, bottom, and right side. So it should be half inch, not less than half inch. Got it? Font, if you are using fonts, sometimes students are using some decorative fonts. No, don't use decorative fonts. Keep it very simple, easy to read fonts we can use. So for example, the size of the font can be 10, can be 12, and we can prefer the Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, Garamond, Vardhana, some fonts which are readable. And these are some of the fonts which are preferred in industry. And don't use any resume template, as I told you. So single spacing is the mechanism in Word application when we are using. So you can like align, you can format the text as per the requirements. So it will not disturb the formatting of your complete resume. So that's why single spacing is preferred. Balance of text and white spaces should be consistent throughout the resume. If you are using bullet points, normally paragraphs are not recommended. While you are specifying some of the technical skills, soft skills, your projects, your internship, so you have to use some bullet points, right? So in bullet points also, if you are using that, so if you are using dot at the end of the bullet point, so keep it consistent throughout the resume. Don't use different fonts, don't use different sizes. Keep it a very stable or consistent format throughout the pages. Heading should stand out. Heading is very important in resume. So for example, if a person is interested for data analytics role, so he or she should has considered the heading should be relevant to the job role. Okay, sometimes it happens that we are creating a standard resume, and for all different type of job openings we are sharing the similar type of resume. That is not preferred. So try to understand what is the job description. On the basis of the job description, you can change the heading of your resume. What is your objective? If you are including short term objective, if you are using long term objective, it should be very clear, it should be very unique. And don't lie anywhere. Whatever you are thinking that it is my passion, just include that point in your resume. So some students are doing this mistake. They are just using copy paste option. They are picking some of the headings from Google and they are pasting it in their resume. Don't do that. Create your own objective, keep it in your resume. You can change it also for different job roles. Whatever the important information you want to provide in your resume, it should be on the top. Why? As I told you that recruiters will take only 7 seconds to shortlist your resume. Got it? So whatever the important things that you want to highlight, it should be on the top of the resume. And your resume is you. That's why it should be 100% factual. So don't include any of the information in your resume to impress the employer, because that is the mistake most of the students are doing. So what should be there in the perfect resume? What is the definition of perfect resume? There are some specific points. So obviously design, be reachable. On slide you can see there are some of the points. Point to point I will discuss with you, and I will elaborate what is the requirement to make your resume in perfect way. So design matters. Don't go overboard with intricacy decorated templates. As I told you, keep it very simple, straightforward. Use Word document only to create your resume. Look for sufficient white space, margins of at least 7 inches, and a font size not smaller than 11 points, 10 points, or 12 points. These are the standard size as per the choice of yours and as per the length of your resume. Whatever the things you want to mention in your resume, keep it either 10 to 12. Any of the font size you can include. Be reachable means make it easy for recruiters to reach out to you by providing your contact info into the header. So that means if employer wants to connect with you, so you should put your contact number, and make sure that your contact number is reachable. Okay, sometimes students are using their different contact number for resume, and in reality they are using some different number. So don't do that. Whatever the correct information you want to share with your employer or recruiter, just keep it in the heading section of the resume. Show off your skills. Don't make recruiters hunt for the most critical information on your resume. So that means you can include the keys which you want to highlight, like soft skills, hard skills. It is a new trend. So students are like amazing. Like they will include the technical skills. What are their operating system skills, technical programming languages, databases, web development. They are including each and everything. But sometimes students are not including their soft skills or professional skills, which is very important. Otherwise, what will happen at the time of interview? Definitely your soft skills will be the most important part, which will give you the chances for the shortlisting. So let's suppose communication skills, team leader ability, time management, continuous learner, passionate about being an active role player. So these are some of the skills which you have to highlight. Industry is looking for candidates who are not only the technical person, but they are a very good professional person as well. So don't forget to include your soft skills in your resume also. Make sure you highlight each and every skill which you want to highlight in front of recruiter. Don't miss out those things. And all the better if these are the keywords from the job description. So as I told you that keywords are very important thing, key phrases are very important. If recruiters are expecting some of the good qualities from their employment, okay, so include those specific keywords or key phrases from the job description. Read the complete job description also before you are sharing your resume with any of the employer. That is a very big mistake students are doing most of the time. Why? Because the students have created one resume that is standard as per them. Whenever they are getting different requirements, because sometimes company requirement is they are looking for Java candidates, okay, and students have created their resume for Python, so they will not do any change and they will just share their resume in a hassle way. Okay, so don't do that. Read the complete job description. If you are sure that you can go for it, you can be fit for that particular job role, do the required changes in your resume, and after that you can share that with the recruiter. List your experience. That means this section is important because it will include each company you have worked for. So if a student or a particular person is not a fresher, he has or she has some experience, so you should include that also. If you have done any of the internship, in today's scenario we can see most of the students are doing some internships. It can be the offline internships, it can be the virtual internship. Okay, so don't forget to include each and everything, because it will definitely increase the quality of your resume, that you are versatile, you are having some experience. So if you have worked in a project, if you have done some internship, use your title, what was the role, what technology you have used, what was the date and month, year also. So don't escape these things, which is very important, and it will definitely showcase in front of interviewer that you are a continuous learner and you are involved in multiple activities simultaneously. Use bullet points instead of paragraphs. Quantify your experience. So whenever you can, use use concrete data points. That means, for example, if we have worked on any particular project, what was your role, what was the technology which you have used, what was the time of starting of that internship or project, and what how much time it will take to complete that part. So it should um, take some start date and some end date also. Include each and everything which you can mention in form of the data should be there in short. Include other positions also. So don't be afraid to include positions that are not directly related with the relevant job. Why? Because sometimes it happens, a person who has completed the Python skill or created some of the projects in machine learning, so even though might be this would be the technology which company is looking for in future, so that means you are not presenting you in just present way, but you can highlight your skills which you are expecting for the future role also. So each and everything which you are thinking that it should be good for me for my future, you should include that point. Get the grade. Many times it happens that the students are putting their degrees, but they are not mentioning their overall percentage or the grades. So do that also. Okay, whatever the percentage you have, you can include the percentage, and if you are having some GPA, so you can add the gradings also. The extra stuff, that means if it is required, if you are thinking it should be included in your resume to get the attraction, or you can say if you want to get the eyes of recruiter on those particular points, you can add some colors, that is also permissible. Sometimes it happens that students are doing some of the additional activities. For example, some students are very good in college groups. Okay, there are some of the groups which are handling, they are doing some volunteering activities in their college, in different type of functions in activities. in job fairs, etc. Some students are working as an ambassador also. So include those all things in your resume that would show the additional qualities which are present in you. And overall, keep your resume very concise. It should not exceed from 1 to 2 pages. Keep it maximum for 2 pages. So that would make your resume perfect. Now, I'll just show you how many different sections we can consider in a resume. So on this screen, you can see there is a structure of resume where 3 important sections are mentioned. So in first section in topmost, you should mention your name, your email ID. Now email ID should be something which looks like official, although it is not official because you are trying for a job, but still it should not make some of the like fun words. It should not include some like different type of words that students are using. Okay, so it should be very decent official mail ID. Okay, if you have not created this type of Gmail ID, please do it. Use your contact number. As I told you, it should be functional. Second section, which is your objective and your summary. So what is your career objective? It should be very unique. It should be relevant with your job description. Okay, after that, the educational qualifications, which you can show in form of reverse chronological. What is exactly reverse chronological? That means you have to start from the present. If you have completed your graduation recently, so you should mention that. If you have completed your post graduation recently, so you should mention that. So it should be in descending order, in year wise. This is the biggest mistake students are doing, as per my observation. Students are putting their educational qualifications in ascending order. Ascending order means firstly they are showing 10th, then 12th, and then graduation, like that. It should be reverse chronological order. After objective and summary, you should include your education in a tabular format. You can include where you can mention your what is your qualification, what was your degree, what was your university name, from which college if you have passed out. If you want to mention that, you can also do that also. Year of passing and then the percentage. What was the overall percentage in your that particular qualification? After that, the technical skills are there. Okay, we can add some soft skills, we can add the projects, internships, as I told you. And at the last, there should be personal details. In personal details, it should mention some of the, if you want to share your date of birth, if you want to show your what is your nationality, address, correspondent address, and all things. One thing which I told you, like in this resume, there is no photograph available. Okay, but right now it is trend. But unless and otherwise company is saying that you have to put your passport size photograph along with your resume, you can mention that also. And at the end of the resume, you can mention your name, your signature, something like that. Okay, but if it is not necessary, what are the important and necessary things? There are 5 sections. Above all, again I'm repeating, the heading section where you can put your contact details. After that, your career objective, which is the most important part, then educational qualifications, then technical skills, soft skills, projects, internships, whatever the additional things if you want to mention here. If you want to mention your hobbies, you can do that also. So this is a very simple Word document in which we can create a resume. But if still some students are interested, because in present scenario there is a trend that some standard formats are available, and students are very much interested to share their resume in a very attractive manner. Okay, so you can use that also, but keep this point is mind that whenever you are using your template, so don't include your career objective in a table or in a particular shape or in text box. Keep it directly there so that it can be shortlisted by using any of the software or tool which a company is using. Again, there are some of the important things when we are talking about what type of descriptions we can include in the resume. So give maximum information using minimum words. Okay, don't be in depth. Don't write the complete paragraphs. Keep it very straightforward. Use minimal words to express your skills. It should be structured as per this structure which we have shared just now. So it should be structured and it should be very precise and crisp information. headline is important. So if you are interested to apply for multiple job roles, you can do one thing, that for different job roles you can create a different headings, you can create multiple replicas of your resume, and according to that you can share with the organizations as per your job description. Job description is the most important thing. I am telling you this point. Okay, structured information will contain the complete information as we discussed just now, and it should be in the reverse chronological order. Whatever the words and the sentences you want to use in your resume, you can check for some online samples which are available on internet, which type of professional words or phrases you can use, because some of the dilemmas students are getting, like which is the buzzword where we can use it. Okay, so for technical persons it is very important that you can use some of the technical words in your resume so that it will be very impressive. Okay, so at least recruiters know that you are a technical person, because technical person whenever they are speaking, when they are writing something, so they are just reflecting their personality, that we are from the technical background. But still, if we are saying something, if we are writing something, so definitely that will be your personality and you can showcase it through your resume as well. But the most important thing is correct words, correct sentences, professional words you should use in your resume. Other than that, check the grammar, spellings, punctuation marks, which is also important thing, because I can see the grammatical mistakes and as well as the spelling mistakes most of the time. Like some students are not able to write the spelling of coding. Okay, if you are not confident, you can take help from your professors, you can take help from some personal placement persons, and even though your colleagues as well. And once or twice if you will do that type of proofreading with some other people, it would be sufficient. Okay, so that proofreading is important before sharing your resume, before even sharing your email also with the recruiters or any company. Just read it out before sending any email, any resume, any document if you want to share, if you are sharing with the person. So handpick skills to highlight. As I told you, we can take help from the Google as well. So whatever the highlights or the USPs you want to include in your resume, you can choose those skills. You can do some Google. You can search what different type of formats are available on internet. You can take help from the internet also. So it is a regular practice for professional persons also. Okay, sometimes it happens that when we are creating some of the documents which are professional documents, and we are not able to understand what should be the structure of this document, so definitely Google is the most important place where you can do that type of research. And definitely LinkedIn is the second important part application, where you can see different type of options available that will be definitely supportive. It will give you that much of confidence that this is the standard and we should go for it. So don't hesitate, take help from Google, take help from LinkedIn as well. If you want to connect with some person on LinkedIn, they can also help you. Okay, so just be active. So this all thing will showcase your proactiveness. If you want to do something, you should put your maximum efforts. Okay, so that would be the important thing. Now, mandate points to include in resume, as we already are discussing so many things from the beginning of the session, that what are the important things, what are the things which we can include in our resume. So here one very important thing is that you can include your social media accounts, social media IDs, but make sure LinkedIn is the most important profile which you can add. uh, in present scenario, we can see that most of the companies are doing virtual hiring. Okay, it is a trend of industry. So you can include some of the Skype IDs if you are using in your resume. It should be very perfect. If you are using LinkedIn profile, so make sure that you are active on LinkedIn. Whatever different type of post you are sharing, if you are involved in blog writing, if you are doing some activities on LinkedIn, so just pay attention towards the profile or the portfolio of your LinkedIn. That is very, very important. in today's scenario, we can see students are taking some of the certifications also, because we have multiple resources available on internet. Most of the IT companies are providing different type of free resources for students, so that students can improve their skills. They can be industry ready. So if you are using TCS, if you are using IBM, Microsoft, whatever, so just do one thing. If you are getting some of the certifications or some badges from these learning resources, don't forget to include those resources in your LinkedIn profile. It is very important, and I'm telling you, if you will follow this complete guideline, definitely you will be easily approached for your good placement. Okay, because multiple HRs and companies are hiring candidates through LinkedIn. So don't forget to include your LinkedIn profile in your resume. That would be the most important thing. And as I told you, when we are putting any social media account, okay, don't include Facebook or Twitter accounts in your resume. It is not professional. So when we are talking about the professional, that means we are talking about LinkedIn profile. So pay attention towards your LinkedIn profile, keep it in your resume, and write a concise personal statement also. And you can do one more thing. Whenever you are using your LinkedIn profile in your resume, you can make it in the heading section, where we are putting our name, contact number, email IDs. Okay, and just after that, you can put your professional LinkedIn profile also. And in whatever the certifications you are getting related with the soft skills, so these are some of the resources, as I told you, you can check out on Google. LinkedIn profile can be improved. It can be very impressive if you are using some of the IBM courses. You can search on Google what are the free IBM courses available. You can use the LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn also has one complete learning center available, which would be initially free of cost, and you can understand what are the different soft skills available, professional skills related with the management, related with the communication or interpersonal skills. So those all things can be used for the upskilling. You will get the certifications also. And TCS is also having one digital academy or digital learning platform, which is free of cost for students. But the important thing is your dedication, your hard work. If you want to do that, definitely you will be in a correct direction. Okay, you will prepare your resume. You can build your profile, your portfolio in a very impressive way. Other than that, what the important thing which we can include in our resume is the portfolio. Okay, so what is exactly is the portfolio? It is a website. Okay, you can create 1 or 2 pages. You can live it also. Okay, but whatever the things you are able to explain in your resume, it should be precise, it should be short and sweet. But yes, if you want to explain your project in a very deep manner, what you did, what was the skill, what was the process, if you want to showcase that, if you are a technical person, you can create a portfolio also in form of a website. You can include one more important thing in your resume. If you are a technical person, that is your GitHub account. So what is exactly GitHub account? That is the particular location where students are uploading their projects, live projects. So if you have completed some of the projects during your academics, that is very important, because I know in 7th semester, one internship is very important for all students. And after completion of internship, they are getting some of the certificates. During internship, students are creating their projects also. So if you will deploy your project on GitHub, or whatever the technical projects you have completed, if you want to showcase your those projects in your resume, that would be amazing. Okay, it would give the benefit to recruiter to understand your professionalism, because GitHub is the repository for all the live projects. If you are using blogs also, if you are interested to writing blog, content writing is your key area, so you can use that also. That means, in short, if you are using any cloud repository, so just use that link to highlight that this is my task during my academic, we have completed these different things, and that is my explanation or my presentation. So in this way, you can increase the weightage of your resume. The work experience details. So if some students are experienced, some students are working also, like part-time working. So if you have experience, give your work experience in detail. That means what was the project on which you have worked, what was your role, what was your designation. Okay, so whatever that, if you are having some work experience, don't forget to include that also. Hobbies and interest areas can be included, but just go for some of the very skilled hobbies or interest. Okay, so sometimes students are putting like, I want to be a dynamic, I want to be a developer, so they can include in hobbies that dynamic programming. Okay, now what is dynamic programming? Although it is a technical term, but yes, it will show that yes, a student is very proactive and he is very passionate about the job role. Got it? So include some of the hobbies and interests that will give the weightage to your resume. If miscellaneous languages or some skills are having with you, some students are very fluent in some foreign languages, they are doing some of the courses related with the foreign skills, foreign languages, so those also you can include in your resume. One very important thing which is expected in resume, that is your declaration or your willingness to learn new skills. This is very, very important, because initially whenever you will be hired in an organization, definitely for 2 months, 3 months, sometime for 1 year, students will be in the training period. Okay, it is not a regular practice that we will be placed and by the next day we will get a project. No, it is not like that. In the beginning, companies will always put you in the training part. Okay, so if you are having that desireness that we want to upgrade ourselves, we are a good learner, we are using multiple resources, so that would be the benefit which you can get from your resume. So showcase your willingness to learn new skills always. What are the emerging technologies? So if I am having Python knowledge, so in future I want to be the AI, I want to move on AI, I want to move on machine learning concepts, I want to go for blockchain developer, something like that. If you are passionate about any emerging technology, you can include that also. Proofreading and editing the resume, which is very important. Keep your format throughout consistent and check your grammar and spelling mistakes. Look at other resume templates online. As I told you that you can take help from Google as well, and you can check what are the different samples available. Just map it with your interest area and include those points in your resume. Now, in this slide, you can just see what are the do's and don'ts. Okay, so what are the do's? That is of green color. So customize your resume to the sector you are applying to. As I told you, whatever is your job description, you should map it with your resume. First page should catch the attention of the interviewer. That means whatever you are mentioning in your heading part, it should be very, very impressive, so that interviewer will get the attraction for your resume. Use bullets instead of paragraphs. Maintain standard space between sections, but it should be consistent. Somewhere it is one space, somewhere it is two space. No, not like that. Keep it very consistent. Use some of the key phrases or keywords that can be read by all the machines. Now, what is exactly this word, by all machines? Because scrutiny or the shortlisting of resume is very common nowadays. Okay, because we know that for a particular job opening, there are number of resumes or number of applicants available. So applicant tracking system is very common. All the websites like naukri.com, LinkedIn, they are using the applicant tracking system. So that means these are the tools which are based on machine learning. Okay, so that's why keywords, key phrases must be mapped as per the job description, so that the softwares and the tools can easily read your particular words. And this is the biggest mistake students are doing. They are not keeping any attention towards the job description. They are making your resume and just they are sharing. For any job, they are sharing the similar type of resume. And that's why students are complaining that after doing so many things, after all, we are very skilled person, but we are not getting any chance of interview. Okay. So just follow this guideline. Use formal and readable fonts, and you can use font size as per your matter available. Like some students are creating one page resume only, so they are obviously having less content. So you can increase the font size. Okay, but it should be proper. Be cautious while mentioning your hobbies. So whatever the hobbies you are mentioning, it is very important and it is very critical. So use your hobbies, interest areas, whatever the emerging skills you want to include in your resume very cautiously. What are some of the don'ts point? So don't exceed 2 pages. For freshers, we are not recommending it. Don't exceed 3 to 5 bullets per section. Don't make spellings and grammar mistakes. Don't use any jargon, slang, or acronyms, especially acronyms that are proprietary. It means sometimes students are using any word. Okay, they are not even understanding what is the meaning of those words. Just they are just using copy and paste. So don't do that type of mistake while you are preparing your resume. Don't include your photographs unless specified by the company. But in present scenario, students are using the templates where they can show their photograph. Now, if you are interested to share your photograph, just keep one thing in your mind: it should be professional. Okay, so don't include any of the photograph where which you have captured on some like get together events or some marriage party or some birthday parties. Okay, so don't use those type of photographs in your resume. If you are interested to use it, just use the professional photograph. And sometimes students are doing that also. They are like capturing their professional photographs by some professionals. Okay, so you can also do that. Don't paste a disclaimer until advised by the company. Disclaimer is a section where students are declaring something. Okay, so don't go for that unless and otherwise it is requested by the company on mandate part. Don't copy the objective summary from the internet, as I told you, because your personality is different. Okay, one person cannot be same or similar with another person. So don't use the copy paste option. What is your personality? Just write that particular objective in your resume. And don't lie about your achievements. So it might happen that if you want to impress somebody, you are saying something. Okay, so don't do that mistake. It can be very, very critical for you at the time of interview. So whatever the informations you are sharing with your recruiter, it should be very accurate, factual information. Sometimes students are sharing their projects completion. Okay, but it is the trend that if you are not having any knowledge about your project, why you are creating that project in your resume, mentioning that project. Okay, if you are not having information, don't do that, because at the time of interview, definitely recruiter will ask some questions from you from that section. Okay, and you will not be able to answer. And at the time, what will happen? Okay, so that would be the mistake at the later stage in your placement drives. So avoid those type of mistakes. Second thing, maximum a cover letter is also recommended. Now, why cover letter is important? Is it mandatory? It depends. Okay, but in present scenario, I can say yes, cover letter is important, and you should prepare one cover letter also along with your resume. Now, what is the requirement of cover letter? So it is read before your resume is read. That means if I want to apply for any company, so definitely I will write some email or I can attach some document. Okay, so in that case, obviously the mail would be written first. So that would be your cover letter. So whatever the information you are sharing in your cover letter is also very important and summarized information, which will be read before your resume will be read by the recruiter. So it gives an initial impression of you. It could be in the form of an email or it can be in the attachment format also. It tells the employer about the position you are interested in and helps to make an initial assessment of whether you fit in the job role or not. So that means it would be the summarized information which you want to share with the recruiter, that I am interested for this particular job role, and because of this capability or my interest area or my skill, I am eligible for this post. something like that. So it should be a paragraph, 2 paragraph type of information which we can mention in the cover letter. So cover letter expresses points that your resume might not cover. So as I told you, that objective you have mentioned in your resume, but you want to elaborate something about you, which you have completed during your project work or during your internship, which will comply your job description as per your resume. So you can mention that in form of paragraph in your cover letter. And most of the time it happens that employers always read the cover letter and they are just skipping the resume. So that is also the possibility. Okay, so if your cover letter is impressive, your resume will be shortlisted, and definitely recruiter will see the complete resume after reading the cover letter. That's why it is also very, very important. In this slide, you can see what is the structure of a cover letter. So mainly 3 sections are there. On above part, you can see this is the section where you will write your date of application, your name, your address, contact number, whatever the important information you want to share with the recruiter. After that, you can mention the company name, official names, whatever the HR name, if you want to if you are using any salutation. Okay, so related with that, you can use a particular salutation like Miss, Mr, like that. Sometimes it happens there are some names also. Okay, so it would be confusing because some names are common for genders, both genders. Okay, so if you are not having any idea, so use dear concerned. Don't use sir, ma'am. Either you can use like this also, dear sir oblique ma'am, or you can say dear concerned also. Okay, company name, official address must be mentioned in a perfect manner. So just do Google, see what is the company name properly, see what is the address of company properly, what is the pin code. So whatever you are mentioning in your cover letter should be very accurate. In second part, you can mention what is your objective of this cover letter. So you can include some of the self introduction, what is your skill, what is your capability, why you are fit for this particular job role. So you can mention something like that in 1 or 2 paragraphs. And at the end, there will be the complimentary clause where you can put your sincerely, your faithfully, something like that. Then your signature if you want to put it, and your complete full name. Okay, so whatever the skills you are mentioning in your cover letter or in resume must be compatible with your job description or job profile. Again, cover letter also should be very straightforward, easy to read. It should be very short. Okay, not very lengthy paragraphs you will use here. Formatting is the most important thing. Whatever the things you are providing here, it should be in a proper alignment. Alignment is very important. So that's why keep this point in mind always, that whatever the fonts you are using, the alignments you are using, it should be proper. Apply the job role. Like for example, if this is the cover letter, you can apply here application for the job this, data analytics, data scientist, Java developer, whatever. And make sure the content is original and should ooze your enthusiasm for the job. That means if you are applying for a position, it should show your passion about that job role. Okay, you are interested, you are seriously interested for that job role. It should be reflected to the recruiter. And very important thing, proofreading is also very important in case of cover letter. Okay, so in this screen you can see there are some of the links available which you can take in form of a screenshot. So these are some of the links where you might get the help and support how to prepare the resume, what are the standard templates available. So these are 4 very important links which we are always sharing with our students in the trainings. And mostly the first one, because it is a very impressive standard format and it is accepted by most of the organizations, by MNCs. Okay, so this is a slide which will definitely help you to prepare your resume in a better way. And in last, I would like to ask some of the questions if you are having. So if you are having some questions, you can drop your questions so that I can support you. So that's from my side.
धन्यवाद मैम, आपने बहुत ही जानकारी परक बातें बच्चों से शेयर करी सभी से। जो सबसे बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है किसी एक जॉब में अप्लाई करने के लिए, वो हमारे पास एक रिज्यूमे होना चाहिए, और वो अगर बहुत प्रिसाइज और इंफॉर्मेटिव हो तभी हम अपनी पूरी बात रिज्यूमे के माध्यम से रख सकते हैं, ऐसा आपने बताया। मैं इससे पहले कि हमारे जेएनएफ में टीम के मेंबर और हमारे असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अनुज शर्मा सर सभी को धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करें, मैं डीन डीएसडब्ल्यू साहब से अनुरोध करूंगा ओपी सिंह सर से कि वो इंजीनियर्स डे के अवसर पर और मैम द्वारा दिए गए लेक्चर के विषय में बच्चों को थोड़ा अपना आशीर्वचन प्रदान करें, जिससे कि बच्चे और अधिक प्रोत्साहित और हो सकें। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर आयुष जी। मैडम को मेरा नमस्कार। मैं मैडम का जो भी इन्होंने जानकारी दी, मैं काफ़ी अच्छी तरह से इसको सुन रहा था, और कुछ मेन पॉइंट्स हमने भी नोट किए हैं कि क्या क्या रिज्यूमे में होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जांपल, हमने जो मेन पॉइंट्स मैडम का जो बताया गया, जो नोट किया है, गेटिंग स्टार्टेड, परफेक्ट रिज्यूम, structure of a resume, important resume tips, then mandate points to include in resume, and with resume it is not about including everything, it is about including the right thing. So all these points are very important, as said by Ravita madam, because resume play important role, and every employer assess the candidates on the basis of their resume, and after that they shortlist the candidates on the basis of their details, on the basis of their resume provided. So these are the points that must be beneficial to all the students as well as others also, if, for everyone who is looking for their job, whether they are students or other than students. And I think all these points have been very clearly explained by madam, and that will certainly benefit to all the students. So I, on behalf of university, thanks madam for sparing her time and guiding the students for perfect resume writing that will be beneficial for their getting employment. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
अब मैं डॉक्टर अनुज सर से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो कार्यक्रम के अंत में सभी का धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करें।
Thank you, Dr. Ayush. Thank you so much. On behalf of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, I thank you, Ravita Madam, for very informative session which you have given to the students and participants. I hope all would be benefited out of this content, because this is the first mirror which you the image which you present before the selection panel or the person जिससे आप मिले नहीं हैं. So I hope this information would be very beneficial for you and you should take benefit out of this. Then I would like to thank the UIIC head, Dr. R.K. Singh ji, for allowing the organizing committee to organize this event. I would like to thank the Dean Student Welfare, Professor O.P. Singh ji, uh, who is always a good leader and very supportive to the students for their student welfare activities also. So he was present during the session, so I am thankful to him. And I'm thankful to all the participants, the representatives from the institutes, the students of different colleges who have attended this program and made this program a grand success. And with this hope that you would be benefited, we are expecting this from the student side. So you should take this advantage, because nowadays the interviews are being conducted through online mode, maximum time. So that is the time when you can present your resume in a better way. And I'm thankful to the all the participants, staff, and the teaching faculty from the institutes, staff members of the university, officers of the university, the organizing team of this university who have conducted this event, Dr. Ayush and other members, for very scheduled program and technically qualified program. So thank you once again, all of you, including Ravita madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. धन्यवाद.